We're here with Mary Kelly today, and we want to visit about business and getting prepared for 2019. Mary, can you tell us maybe 4 or 5 things that speaker, an entrepreneur, a business owner can do to get ready for next year?
Yes, and thanks for asking. We as business owners have to be very mindful of our resources, especially for the things we don't do well. So for example, let's say you own a spa or a company that services cars. Maybe marketing is not your top priority or your top area of expertise.
Sure.
Or maybe advertising is not your top thing. In those areas, it's very tempting to outsource that and overspend. So first, I would ask people to put together on their business plan, and I have a 1-page business plan, 1 page, really easy, and look at that's 6 areas, and look at those areas where it is not your top area of expertise.
Okay.
And then make a decision what you're going to outsource, but then how you're going to do it in a way that is most effective, cost effective, and helps you get your business where it needs to be. So the number one thing moving forward is, what are you going to outsource? A friend of mine says, if you don't have an assistant, you are the assistant.
Right.
Patrick Lencioni, I think, says that too. So if you don't have somebody else who's doing some of those things for you that you're not good at, then you're probably wasting time and wasting your expertise doing things that you shouldn't be doing. So that, again, that's part of the outsourcing. Figure out what your resources are, and then figure out what you're going to outsource. And then when you look at the economy coming up in the next year or two, are you ready for the downturn? Because many businesses do great when the economy is booming, and we're booming right now.
Right.
But are you positioned when that business cycle takes a dip?
When the bump comes.
When the bump comes. Are you looking at the bump like an opportunity? So somebody asked me the other day, so this recession, isn't this terrible? And I said, are you kidding? The recession is the greatest thing ever for business. And they're like, oh, that's so terrible. How could you say that? And the reality for most of us is, look, during the times of recession, people who weren't making money, who are not good at their business, they're gone.
Right.
So for everybody who's left, now you've got you've got the same amount of supply, or maybe slightly less supply, but to supply for these. Wait, I'm going to try that again because I'm.
Yep, that's okay. That's right. Yeah. Demand and supply. Yes.
So when there are
back it up.
When there are fewer people competing for your clients, and you're still there, and you've ridden it through because you planned, guess who's going to be there at the end? And we see this especially in businesses where there's a very low barrier to entry, such as real estate, speakers,
photographer.
A lot of people just go, oh, I've got an iPhone, I take some pretty good pictures.
Yeah.
People go, wow, what a great picture. I can be a photographer. It's a lot more to it than that.
Yes.
And we all know that. So that's number 3. Number 4 is making sure your social media is where it needs to be. And a lot of people are still resilient to the idea.
So number 4.
Yeah.
What's number 4?
Number 4 on the list is making sure your social media is where it needs to be.
Okay.
We still have people and businesses who are resistant to the idea of putting their information out there for the world to see. We've got to make sure not only are we out there, but it is robust, it is interesting, it is entertaining, and it's something that draws people toward us in that unique way that makes you you. People hire Winn because, wow, you're cool, and because you do all these cool things, and you show up, and you're prepared, and you know things, and you do your homework ahead of time. We have to make sure that our social media conveys what it is we really do and what we stand for. And then number 5, just heading forward, be organized. Make sure...
That's a tough one. To me, that's the big one right there.
It's such a tough one.
Yeah.
Such a tough one. And so many of my business owners struggle because it's things they're not good at doing. So again, to try to make this easier for so many of my friends and for your listening audience, I do have the 5-minute business success series.
Okay.
And if people are interested in just trying to get a little bit more organized on those facets of their business they're not good at, it's totally free. Everything's totally downloadable, totally free. I don't get a copy of it. Nobody does. It's all yours. And it's at productiveleaders.com/vault, VAULT.
Okay. We'll put a link down below on the channel so they can just click right on there.
These are great resources that I developed for my CEOs. And then I needed a place to put them, so I started storing them on my website before the cloud was a cloud, because I always needed to be able to access them, and that's worked out pretty well for me. So, and I love to share the resources if they're at all helpful. Just go get them, and good luck and prosper.
Well, thank you very much. Those 5 things sound easy to do. but I know that once you dive in and you start analyzing each one, it's like an alligator pit. You just kind of keep growing and growing. But I agree. I think that the more you can be organized, prioritized going into the new year, the better year you're going to have.
And I think you're absolutely right. And my bonus on that for my business owners is make sure you're staying current on the literature. A lot of people forget to read, and we forget to read.
Right.
But stay current. If you're not good at sales, read Mark Hunter, read High Prospecting. If you're not good at creating customer experiences, read Shep Hyken's new book, The Experience. You know, figure out who is in the industry whose stuff is better than yours, better than what you do, and then read their stuff and learn from each other. And I know it's hard to carve out this time, but I think reading is kind of a lost secret that we need to get back to.
You bet. I totally agree. I think that my dad was 85 when he passed away, and he was reading up until, the day before. He was, and they weren't just novels, they were educational, volumes that he was doing. And so he was a big proponent of reading. I think social media, you've got to be social. If you're going to be on social media, it's the social part right there. It's like going to a cocktail party. You can't go and sit on the couch. You've got to be engaging. So, Mary, thank you very much for all these tips. Guys, Mary Kelly, commander, economist, author, Vintner.
Drinker's easier to say.
Drinker.
Drinker.
Okay, thanks.
Winn, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Awesome.